It's Down to Business with Jack Miller. Forget what they teach you in school. This is real life, not Wall Street, but Main Street. A real show on what's really involved with starting and running a business with all the ups and downs. Our guests will answer your questions and provide you with valuable information. Stay tuned and join in the conversation.
When the earth was created,
Hello, world. It's Thursday. I'm so glad to be part of your world. And Miami and Florida and the whole U.S. and whoever's here hearing me, I'm glad to be here today. Wanda, how was your week?
It was splendid.
Well, you know what?
She said with such sarcasm.
You know what? If you have a splendid week, then I have a splendid week. Because one of my missions is to put a smile on your face. You're actually always smiling.
Look, I'm looking for a new place to live. That's my state of mind right now. So
forget it. You don't want to live with me.
See?
That's where friendship stops.
So here I am right here present with you, and all is well.
Well, we're in the present, and I'm excited. Anyway, folks, I'm glad. Thanks for joining in for another week of Jack Miller Down to Business. Don't forget the call-in number. If you have any questions, is 305-541-2350. I'm super excited at our guest today, which I'm going to keep you in a little suspense for about 10 seconds on. But I want to remind you the show's being brought to you by two sponsors. One is Quick Liquidity, which we are buyers of non-liquid minority interest in real estate partnerships. So if you know anyone who invested in real estate, a minority interest, but wants out of it, we can provide liquidity for them, and the phone number there is 561-221-0881. And of course, Gelt Financial. We provide all types of commercial and investment financing, no income verification, asset-backed, accounts receivable. We work with a lot of companies in duress, as well as very clean and very smooth loans, and the phone number there is 561-221-0900. I'd like to say hello to my lovely wife, Judy. Hello to my three sons and everyone else who's listening. But I really want to say hello. We're doing something special today. We have the one and only Reb Shlomo Zalman Bregman with us on the phone. Say hello, Rabbi.
Hello, hello.
As well as we are Skyping this, so we're going to put it on YouTube after, thanks to his technological abilities, because if I had to do it, it would be like 1,000 years. I would never do it. I want to set the stage, and I really appreciate you being here because I think the audience has a lot to learn. I find you very motivational, and I think everyone will find you very motivational. I don't know how I stumbled across you, but to set the stage, as I said before, you're an internationally recognized motivational speaker, a peak performance. I don't know what that means exactly, but you inspire people to perform at their peak. You're a business consultant, an author, a relationship coach, a rabbi, a radio personality. You're also a husband, a father, a son. You have any brothers or sisters?
One sister.
Okay, so you're a brother. He's founder and CEO of Bregman. Okay, you need to talk into the phone, Wanda's telling me, so everyone hears you. He's also founder of Bregman Success and BregmanSuccess.com. It's a brand new website that he's launching next week. I know it's fantastic because I looked at it this morning. So are you with us? Can you hear us good?
I hear you great, Jack.
So let me tell you why I'm excited. And I genuinely mean this. I'm not full of it, but I think the biggest impediment to people's success is their own mind. The world is what the world is. The world's going to do what the world's going to do. The economy is going to be what the economy is going to be. We can't control any of that, but what we can control, what we're thinking, our thoughts, our speech, and our action. And that's the key. And I know when I listen to you, I find you very motivational, and a lot of your stuff is good. So why don't you tell us exactly what you do? And I have so many questions. There's so many things I want to get into with you. I'm just chomping at the bits here.
Okay, well, you're selling me better than I ever could describe anything I'm doing, so I'm just happy to remain silent over here up in the New York area. But thank you so much for having me today. Yeah, all of those different activities that you described, they're definitely the case. Those are things that I do. A lot of people sort of describe me as a professional developer of human potential. The thread that runs through all of my activities, what led me to become a rabbi and an attorney and a motivational speaker and a business consultant and all the other activities and spheres of involvement is that I love to see people be happy, be successful, get what they always wanted, and become the best version of themselves possible. I 1,000% agree with you as well that so much of success is not necessarily what you do on the outside, although there are skills you have to know. On the outside, how you speak to people, how you deal with people, how you sell, how you pitch, how you do these stuff with your body, your mouth, and your time on a daily basis. But so much of what it takes to achieve what you want in life is the inner game, and that's something I'm very concerned with helping people achieve.
So you're like a Tony Robbins.
Yeah, with a big black yarmulke on my head, I guess.
I got you. What motivates you? What motivates you to get up every morning and want to help people? Most people don't care about other people, but I know you a little bit. I've gotten to know you the past month or so, and it seems that you genuinely like to help people.
Yes, 100%. Well, for starters, I have to give credit to my parents. My parents inculcated in me since I was a little boy growing up in Boca Raton. I did the reverse commute. A lot of people from New York end up in South Florida. I ended up doing the reverse. But my parents gave me a value growing up that whatever talent or blessing or ability you have in life, it wasn't given to you for your own self-aggrandizement or for your ego or to push as many pleasure buttons as you could in life, but to see how can you better somebody else's life with it. That is a value from my Jewish heritage, but before I even knew it was from my religious heritage, it was something that my parents were living and breathing on a daily basis. So I would say that's the beginning of it. That is the core. I had that since my youth.
Okay, that's good. That's good. So why do you think it seems to me, let me back up. It seems to me that a lot of people are struggling at all levels. I know the youth. I happen to have 3 boys in their 20s, and thank God they're doing very, very well, and I'm so proud of them. It's unbelievable. They're great kids, but it seems a lot of the youth is struggling, and I know that's your area of expertise. They're in their 20s, and they're just floundering in the world, and I have my own opinions on it, which we'll talk about if anyone cares. But it also seems that people of all ages, I'm in my 50s, a lot of people in their 50s are struggling. It seems we're just struggling as a society, and the society is down and in the dumps, and I don't want to say depressed. It just feels that way, though. And I don't know if it's and I wanted to get your opinion on why you think people are struggling with their relationships, with their careers, with their happiness, just in general. And do you think that way? Do you think that as a society we're kind of just like a little down in the dumps recently?
Yes, I would agree with that. But the good news is it's avoidable, Jack. And by avoidable, what I mean is that a lot of us have been programmed with wrong information. Maybe a generation ago or 2 generations ago, the path to success was to go to college, graduate school. Certainly if you did 1 or 2 of those, you'd be able to get a nice job that would keep you busy 9 to 5, 8 to 6. You'd make 6 figures. You'd have 2 kids and a dog. Life would be all right. Many young people today are walking around with poor information. That era has come to an end. And a lot of people, certainly young people in their 20s and 30s, the Gen X, Gen Y, millennials, are just sort of think that they could just show up because their mommy or daddy paid $50,000 for them to go to college or $120,000, that the world is going to open up for them. It's not really true. Today, people don't realize, and I'm speaking in very broad strokes here, but most young professionals don't realize how average they are. When a person graduates from a college, it could even be one of the top 25 universities in the country, and you show up looking for a job, you have to be ready to add immediate value. How are you different? How are you going to solve problems in the marketplace? How are you going to come and add real value for an employer? The fact that you're young and look good and you have a nice diploma, that's very nice. But I'm a business owner. I'm an entrepreneur. I have problems. And I need real people to walk in today and solve them right now. So a lot of people have very, very improper information in their minds. Like, sitting on my desk here in the office, I've got a box of tissues, okay? I can find people in their 20s and 30s looking for a job today, or people in their 40s and 50s and 60s, as dispensably as I could find tissues in this box, an almost unlimited number. The problem is not if a person is operating with an average work ethic, average mindset, average hustle, average knowledge, average sales pitch. The problem is not that. The problem is that you're not aware of it. Once you're aware how prosaic you are in the marketplace, you have a chance to do much more.
So I've said this in past weeks that I think people expect too much. They have an expectations that are unrealistic. They basically want everything for free and they don't want to work for it. They don't want to be in at 7 and leave at 8. They want to come in at 9, leave to 5, take an hour for lunch. They have an it's a sort of, I guess it's part of the 2015. They have what can I get out of life instead of what can I give life. And that's what I'm hearing you're saying, that people have to really put in to get out.
Yeah, no question. Look, I had 6 people ask me for internships in the last 24 hours. I have an unlimited number of people who know me from the Jewish Executive Learning Network. I'm in touch with tens of thousands of young people a year. So 6 people asked me for internships. Of that group, very few of them are operating from a mentality of how much can I do to make your life better as a boss, right? Very few people are coming at me like that. Most are figuring out what is the least of amount of work and assignment that I could do for you, expand it into the maximum window of time such that you will be happy enough that you're not going to fire me and I can still get a letter of recommendation at the end of the day. So that's why I say, Jack, it's never been easier to be more successful because the opportunities are everywhere. Yeah, there's problems, but there's opportunity everywhere. But the question is, and the starting point has to be, what do I offer? How am I going to deliver? Where am I excellent? How am I going to solve your problem? People will pay you very, very nicely to resolve their problems for them. That's what BregmanSuccess.com and my company is about. I love to solve people's problems for them. But you have to solve people's problems in a real way. And if you're just showing up and expecting money without a real contribution, you can go home and Oprah will be on soon, I think.
I think we're saying the same thing. I think it boils down to what can I do for you? What value can I add to you? What can I give you? Not what can I get from you or what can you give me? And if you approach it by giving, it will ultimately come back, but it starts by giving before you get.
Yeah, absolutely. People are, and I'm just going to say it in plain English, people in the marketplace are quite willing to give you their Amex and their Visa number and allow you to put a bunch of digits on it. And I mean the digits to the left of the decimal point, not to the right. Okay? They're willing to do it. They're willing to do it, but you have to add value. You have to do something for them. They're not going to because you went to the University of Miami or you went to an Ivy League school or anything else, because you have nice hair and you have good pictures on Facebook with attractive people of the opposite gender. You're not worth much more than $6 an hour to the average employer unless you're willing to actually do something of significance. If I can give you just one quick example. Somebody recently asked me for a job, and they said, I want to do X, Y, and Z for you, and I want to have a shot to make $60,000 to $100,000 this year. But they're not willing to get around revenue streams. They want to take no risk, and they want to have no real pressure, no real responsibility, and they want the safety of an office job answering the phone, but they think they're going to get somewhere near $100,000 a year. That's not the way the world works. And so I ended up giving that person an $8 an hour job because they would rather have $8 an hour than have to perform and make $700 cash a day. You follow me? But here's what happens. Even at the $8 an hour level, you better produce. You have to show real value. You know why? Because when people started showing up and they wanted to be my intern, they were able to do the $8 an hour job for free for me all summer. So now if the $8 an hour person isn't able to up their game, we don't have need for them in the marketplace, at least as my business is concerned. And I think you know exactly what I'm talking about.
What do you think holds most people back in their quest for success? I think it's their own brain or their own mind or their own, I don't know, I don't want to say intellect, but their own insecurities. They sort of have a roadblock.
Yeah. Unfortunately, that's definitely the case. I would say fear. Fear I would say it is number one, fear. Most people walk around petrified. See, I have a comfort zone. You have a comfort zone. Every living person has their comfort zone, and that's fine. The thing is, when your comfort zone is so small and so narrow, it affords you a very, very limited window in which to operate, Jack. Okay? So if your comfort zone is small, and with my fingers, they're about a millimeter apart, you basically don't have much space to get things done. So people have to learn how to push past their comfort zone. I feel fear and insecurity and nervousness and nerves like the next person every single day. The difference is, instead of viewing it as a red light to stop, I view that as a green light for me to go through. At the end of my day, I literally tally what big actions I took that day that made me very uncomfortable and pushed the boundaries of my fear and my comfort. And the reason I do is I can look busy at my desk all day and fool everybody else, but I'm not really going to get anywhere until I push the boundary of my fear and my comfort zone.
Got it. Makes sense. What do you think? Because I think another thing that holds people back is we all have our own demons. At different ages, we have different demons. And some of them are, I don't know, they're really demons. And some of them are just neuroses like I have. So I'm not talking about real demons that you need psychological help for. I'm just talking about craziness. We all have our own craziness and shtick and just nonsense. What do you think? How do we overcome our own selves? Because I see a lot of people who really have greatness and have talent, but they just can't get over themselves or their own nuts or craziness to get ahead.
I see that a lot as well. I think that it takes many times somebody who cares about you, that you respect, from an outside perspective, to help you sort of undo that clog that is preventing you from going from A to Z. Let's say I'm visiting my parents in Boca, and I'm coming to see you. Your office is in the Cypress Creek Road area, right?
Fort Lauderdale, but I live in Boca, so you're welcome anytime.
Okay, well, thank you. But let's pretend I'm coming to see you in Fort Lauderdale because I need I-95 for my exam. I'm on Florida radio, so I have to give Florida example. Coming to see you, it could be that it's a 25-minute drive, right? But of that 25-minute drive, the wrong time of day, it could be a 55-minute drive. But that 55-minute drive is caused because for a certain stretch, there's a bottleneck. It could be that the cops pulled over people in the HOV lane. It could be an accident or something else. Once you get past that thing, you can spot it, tackle it, identify it, and remove it. The ride before it is quick, and the ride after it is quick. A lot of us have that in our own life. You often need outside help from someone like me or someone like you who cares about you, that you respect, who can spot that issue and help you uproot it. When people turn to me and my wife to help them get married, some people really want to get married and find somebody, a spouse for marriage, and they're stuck, and they can't find that person. So sometimes what the problem is something internal. It's a limiting belief, an attitude, a certain pickiness that makes it very difficult for them to operate in the singles marketplace. Sometimes people are doing things that are turning people off when they go out with them, and they don't realize it, and they need somebody with a big smile who's friendly and non-judgmental to point it out to you. So look, we all have those things, but it takes a lot of wisdom to be able to spot it, and I've made a bit of a career out of it, and to help people get past that. But it's completely doable. There's no limit on how great we could become. We have to learn to own our power and to have a strategy to get us where we want to be.
I got it. You know what? You talk about marriage. I always say the most important decision that any human being will ever make is on the spouse they pick. I can't think of any more important decision, because if you buy a wrong house or you get a wrong career, you can always change. A spouse is you can still change it, but it adds a lot more complications to it.
Yeah, that's true. That's a huge one. You don't want to have buyer's remorse on that one.
No, I know. I married. I don't know. I'm sure you. I don't know about you. You probably married up too, because you're a smart guy. I 100% married up. because the truth is I was a bum. I did nothing before I met my wife. As soon as I met my wife, my whole world changed and opened up, and she really has brought that inspiration into my life. I don't know if it's her spending habits. I felt the pressure of them, but it's a combination of if you marry the right spouse, and if it's really a critical thing. You think I did a good job setting myself up for tonight with my wife? Is she happy?
I think you could definitely go home. You don't even need roses. I think you're covered for at least till the 3:30 hour.
I hope so. By the way, during these shows, I don't know about your wife, but my wife texts me constantly. You're talking too fast. You're talking too slow. Don't do this. Don't do that. All throughout the day. But that's what I love her for. Hi, Wub.
I have a different version of that. Not my wife, but my mother. My mother regularly watches my videos on YouTube. She'll go to YouTube, she'll type in Rabbi Bregman, and she'll watch me, and then I'll get messages. My mom will tell me, Shlomo, you look great. Shlomo, your shirt is wrinkled. Shlomo, you look like you gained weight. You look very tired. I see in your eyes you look like you haven't slept. You need... So I get that not from my wife and not by text, but my mother by phone. It was a little bit of a time YouTube take delay.
I got you. It's the same. It's the Jewish woman syndrome, I guess.
Yeah, but it's okay. And you know what? My mother's never wrong. Even if I tell my mother to feel better, Ma, don't worry. I'm not tired. Don't worry. When she saw that video, she was right. I was on an hour and a half of sleep and 3 cups of coffee to prop me up to do that clip for you, Jack.
I got you. I appreciate it. Enough about women and mothers. We love them all. How do we keep? How do you think someone wakes up and life is hard? There's always problems and just some of them in our lives and just the news is depressing. How do we wake up and keep a positive attitude every day? Because I know I struggle. I think that's my biggest struggle, to be candid with you. Between all the problems of life and this and that, it's just hard to be positive and to have that upbeat, clear mind to focus on something productive when all these things in your head which aren't so productive and full of negativity. So what do you think, what's the best way to block out the nonsense, or what I call the clutter, and to focus on the mission? Because I think you need to be laser beam focused in order to be successful. It's hard to be successful, but you really need to be laser beam focused.
I literally write down my goals in a notebook, in a spiral notebook, every morning when I wake up, and just about every single night when I go to sleep. The exception will be if I pass out on the couch at 3 in the morning accidentally. So in those nights, I won't write them down. So I'll just give you a bunch of different ideas that fuel me. Maybe they could be of benefit to you or some of your listeners. Number 1, I'm laser clear on my goals, because when you know where you're going, you wake up in the morning and you know where you're supposed to drive. Imagine somebody stops you for directions in the Meisner Park and says, excuse me, I need directions. You ask them, well, where do you want to go? I'm not really sure. I don't know. So you can't give them directions. So number 1, I think you have to have clarity forever as to where you want to go and what you want to accomplish. Number 2, I'm a firm believer that there are no real limits in this world, and almost anything is possible for you, and nothing is impossible unless you agree where it is. In other words, I remain positive because I realize that when I think that there are walls or boundaries or limits of success or how much I can help people or how many lives I could touch, I realize that wall, Jack, that I'm imagining, it is where I think it is, but it's only there because I placed it there. So I think that's something that fuels me very well. The third thing I would tell you very, very candidly is that I think it's important to be a playmaker. Everybody, I know I listen to your shows a lot, not just because you play me, but because I like what you say. I think you're a very intelligent person and sharp. I know you're not into sports, but in sports, if I could use a sports analogy, in sports you want to have a person who's a playmaker. That person who will step up and make something happen. In other words, will get the interception on defense, not when it just comes to his hands, but who will do something active and make a big play at that moment when the team needs it, even if it's not an obvious thing. I try to go through life and coach people to be playmakers. I don't just sit back and wait for something good to happen to me. No. I go out and make it happen. Okay? And I'll give you a fourth thing. I've trained myself to thrive under pressure. Pressure is where you grow. We spoke about fear. The old expression, diamonds are really lumps of coal that handle pressure really well. One thing that I actually look for in life is pressure moments. I thrive under pressure. I love those moments. Like, I know, again, I heard you say in a different show you're not necessarily a big football guy, and you told the story with the turkey. I listened to you the other day. But in football, a lot of times, the biggest play that the quarterback will make that'll go for 40 yards, 50 yards, 60 yards, or even further will happen when the quarterback will stay in the pocket. When the pocket is collapsing, he doesn't take off and run. He doesn't just chuck the ball out of bounds. He'll stay in the pocket. He'll embrace the pocket pressure. Those are the moments in life when you can step up and deliver the biggest strike. This is something that I live with on a daily basis. So if you know what you want, where you're going, and almost anything is possible for you, and if you've begun to mentally condition yourself in order to achieve these things, life is pretty thrilling. And if you add in that if you become the kind of person, whether from your parents, your heritage, or otherwise, that you get a buzz, a high from helping other people, then it becomes all the easier for you to go about doing that on a daily basis.
I like it. I love it. Laser beam focus and help people. Because the truth is, if you add value, you'll be compensated. Somehow, you'll be compensated back.
Totally. Yeah, absolutely. Look, I mean, we're on air now, and we haven't discussed it, but I'm sure I can do a business deal with you right now on the radio, meaning it doesn't have to be on air, but if you told me, what do you need, what does your business need, your life, your family, your whatever your situation is, financial, you told me what you need, I could figure out, we could have a discussion. Can I fill that need, fill that void, fill that gap? Can I make a contribution? Well, people have to understand, you have to be able to make a contribution. The fact that you look good or you're handsome or you're pretty or something else is not a contribution. You have to actually be able to do something and upgrade your own value. And this is, Jack, where it really boils down to. I know this from running the Jewish Executive Learning Network and helping thousands of young professionals a week. I give out job leads for free, just with my quote-unquote extra time. We live in a global marketplace today where there literally is no end to the competition we have. I'll give you one example. Recently, for my new website, the BregmanSuccess.com, I needed somebody to do some web development work. Okay, so I went to elance.com and I described the task, and it allows you to basically put out the job to the world, and people can reply and let you know, are they interested and at what rate. Okay, so the guy in America who replied, I live somewhere on the West Coast, he said he would do the job that I needed for $250, and he'd give it to me within 7 days. Somebody, a woman in India, replied she would do it for $18, and she'd give it to me in 6 hours. And I read their credentials. They were the same credentials. And guess who I went with? No-brainer. I went with that person, and that person got the job done excellently. So this is how the world works today. We are competing against everyone in terms of our contribution and the ROI, the return on investment that they will have from that. If your mindset is conditioned towards that, you'll see opportunity everywhere. You'll beg of yourself to grow and upgrade your own personal operating system internally and externally so you can make a real contribution. And if not, you'll find that you will be left behind, and we don't want that to happen to anybody.
And I believe competition makes us stronger because it forces us to perform and outperform everyone else. If we sit on our laurels and we just sit and say, oh, this is what we did yesterday, there's a million of those businesses who are gone. Think about all the businesses from our youth that were in business 20, 30 years ago. Most of them are gone. With that, I got a break. You'll stay with us for another set, I hope?
I'm here as long as you want me.
Okay, Wanda, we need a traffic report. I know there's a lot of traffic in Miami. We need to hear all about it.
Don't turn that dial. We'll be right back.
Does your company need financing to help with cash flow? Geld Financial Corporation has been in business since 1989, knows the financing that businesses need to succeed in today's competitive environment. Geld offers a wide array of programs such as accounts receivable, factoring, asset-based lines of credit, commercial real estate purchase and refinance financing, and bridge loans. Call us right now at 561-221-0900 to learn if you qualify. Geld Financial understands that every business is in a unique situation which requires a unique solution. We pride ourselves in thinking outside the box to secure even the most difficult financing. Call us right now at 561-221-0900 or visit us at geltfinancial.com. That's geltfinancial.com.
Are you tired of dealing with invasive and unreliable banks or brokers who charge large amounts of upfront fees and never deliver on their promises? Geld Financial Corporation, in business since 1989, offers a stated income mortgage loan for non-owner occupied residential and commercial real estate investors for purchases, refinances, and yes, cash out refinances. Call Geld Financial at 561-221-0900. That's 561-221-0900. Our stated income loan program does not require tax returns. Due to the light documentation, we can offer quick closings and approvals usually within 1 day. This program is a 30-year term with no balloon payment with loans amounts from $100,000 all the way up to $5 million. Call Gelt at 561-221-0900 or visit us at geltfinancial.com.
Looking to promote your business or service? What better way than radio? Reach thousands of people daily. If you would like to advertise or maybe do a show here on 880 The Biz, give Mike Castillo a call today at 786-871-2423. That's 786-871-2423 to learn more. Radio continues to capture an average of 19 and a half hours of tune-in each week, providing many opportunities for your advertising message to make an impact. So call Mike Castillo for more information, 786-871-2423.
Did you invest in a non-liquid real estate partnership? Do you want and need liquidity? There's finally an answer. Quick Liquidity is a direct buyer of real estate minority interest and tenants in common investments across the country. To find out if we would buy your non-liquid investment, call us at 561-221-0881 or visit us at quickliquidity.com. That's quickliquidity.com.
Welcome back to It's Down to Business with Jack Miller.
Hey, welcome back, everyone. Thanks for joining us. Reb Bregman, thank you for hanging around. I'm excited. I love the energy. I'll tell you. You know what else I found? When you're around down people, you feel down. When you're around positive people like yourself, you feel positive. In fact, I would encourage everyone to listen to people like you, Tony Robbins, Robert Kiyosaki, or whoever motivates you every day of the week because it's energizing. I know I walked in here, I didn't feel that well. I woke up with a little bit of a cold, but talking to you keeps me energized. And, of course, seeing the beautiful Wanda keeps me energized as well. But that's a visual. Okay, you can shake your head. You know, don't let it get to your head. But that's all right, a little bit. You can. Anyway. So what do you think people need to do to keep themselves every day, every minute, energized, on top of the game, and especially the youth? Because I know there's a lot of kids, or I don't want to say kids, young men who are getting out of school, they're in their 20s, and they're just not happy. They're always looking for that perfect job. I think they have unrealistic expectations. And let's focus on the 20-year-olds for a second, because I think at that age group it really sets them up for life, what path they take, not so much in their career, but in their work ethic and work habits.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Thank you for sticking with me. It's a great honor to be with you, Jeff. So I would say that there's 4 main elements that a person needs to have to be synchronized for massive success. And each one is something that when I have a live audience, I sometimes speak with them about for a couple hours, each element. But 4 main elements. Number 1, you have to have an extremely well-defined and specific goal. So if you graduate from University of Florida, you have to have an extremely, not well-defined, not just a goal, extremely well-defined, specific goal. And that's number one. Number two, I think a person in general does much better and will not be floundering about if their goal is in an area that is something they're truly passionate about. We all bring a lot more energy to life when we're working on something, whether it's a project, a task, a goal, whatever it is, if it's something we are passionate about. So when you can construct your life that way, that's very valuable. So you have to have an extremely well-defined specific goal. Number two, you have to be something you're passionate about. Number three, I would say to be synchronized for success and not flounder about. You have to tackle it with consistency and devotion. A lot of young people and people not so young get lost on that one as well. They might get excited and they'll do it for a day or two or three, whether it's losing weight, whether it's learning a new skill, a new language, a new task, building a website, whatever they're trying to do. You have to go after it with consistency and devotion. That doesn't mean get excited for 3 days. That means get out there and grind and hustle and do what you got to do for maybe 333 days, okay? And number four, a person has to tackle their goals to be synchronized for success with intelligent, laser-like, focused action. Not all action is equal. Some of our action makes us feel good, makes us feel busy, makes it look like we're doing what we have to, but we're really doing the low-hanging fruit activities and not really confronting those items that will move the needles in our life. So when I want to help a person attain success, whether it's their physical health or their financial health or whatever else, go after those four things to synchronize them for success. Well-defined specific goal, something that they're passionate about. We tackle it with consistency and devotion, and the action which follows it is intelligent and laser-like and sharp, maximally calculated to get the outcome they want. You begin to see progress. And Jack, we all know when you see progress, it is like rocket fuel in your life. Yes or no? Yes or no?
100%. But the problem is, I think progress always takes longer than people expect. Bad things happen quick. Good things sometimes are slow, except at nighttime. But anyway, beside that, so I think what I find is in sales and in the business world, people give up too soon. They're just not disciplined enough.
Yeah, I did a clip on this on YouTube recently, and I spoke about this. A lot of times the person will start something, and they'll say, hey, I thought it would take 3 weeks to launch. It took 5. And I thought I would make $1,000 the first time, and I made $265. Oh, must be, and I'm saying the words must be in quotation with little quotes with my fingers, must be is broken. Must be it's not the right idea. Must be I got to go move on to something else. Must be this and must be that. And you want to know something? That is a key distinction between the winners in life and everyone else. A person who ends up being successful is willing to say, hey, I got 10 people to come to my class the first time. Maybe next time it could be 100. I made $276 my first day. What if I keep going? Maybe there'll be more. Maybe there'll be more. The people in life who never seem to make it are the ones who think they're going to get the big score every single time and the first time. And when they don't hit that tape measure home run on their first swing, the first time in the batter's box, they quit. And they don't realize life is not designed that way to get you $50 billion and your first at bat. That's just not the way life goes.
So you got to keep pushing. Just be aggressive. Don't give up. Because I think a lot of people just give up right before they're about to be successful. You just got to keep grinding it.
Yeah. I think that's extremely, extremely important. And the other thing that I think that a lot of young people have is that they're down on themselves, that they've been told you're not great, you're not special, you can't achieve super things in life. In other words, and if I could say it bluntly, a lot of people think that they're trash. And I come in life, and this is what I do, and I get to know them, and I explain to them, no, you're treasure. They could be your parents, your friends, your community, whatever. They think you're trash, but I know that you're treasure. I know what you are. I see what you're capable of, and I get great pleasure in life helping people go from that potential to who and what they really can be.
The truth is, I think every one of us has in our soul and in our body a deep, inherent greatness. And it's up to them what makes the successful ones bring out the greatness, and the not successful ones really suppress it sometimes. I want to say hi. I don't know if this is going to work or not, but Todd Cohen, my commercial corner man, just walked in the room. Todd, is your mic on? How you doing?
I was told it is. I hope you can hear me out there, all of our tens of listeners. I love you guys. And Jack, thank you so much, as always, for having me. Rabbi, you're fascinating, and I appreciate your time today, too.
Okay, nice to meet you, Todd. Listen, that means you'll subscribe to my YouTube channel, yeah?
Todd definitely will. Todd is in sales, and I know he's a very hardworking guy. And a lot of this stuff is just 101 sales and human relationship. And I think you can take the same practices that you use in sales with relationships with everything.
Yeah. Look, I mean, what I do for a living is 100% back end. All the rewards in my 100% commission business are fully back-ended, and your career is back-ended on top of that. So I know that you need to be disciplined. You need to believe in yourself, number one, and have those goals, like you said, because if you don't, you're going to not make any money in the beginning and give up. Number two, I was listening to you, and it reminds me of the book, I think it was Outliers by Malcolm Gladwell, where he hits on the 10,000-hour theory. And the truth of the matter is, it really hit home when I read it, and it hit home again when I was just listening to you guys talk. To succeed in life, you really need to put the time in, pay your dues, and become a master at your own craft, whatever that is. The earlier you start on that journey, obviously, the bigger leg up you're going to have. So if you hit the ground running right after college, or even, instead of college in some cases, like the Bill Gateses and the Steve Jobs of the world, you really have a leg up on the world. Pro athletes do the same thing. And, the quicker you get to that 10,000-hour mark, the better chances you have of success. It's not a guarantee, but it certainly puts you in the best position to succeed. And, it's something that you really should take care of. Kids today, I think you guys were talking about what the problem is, and it's not a universal problem, but with some people, it's a right now society. People demand success immediately with everything.
You know what? I agree with you, Todd. I don't know if it's with the youth, the people in their 20s. It definitely is, but I see it with people my own age, and I'm 53. Really, every age group, it seems people don't want to pay the price. They don't want to work hard. They think coming in at 5 of 9 or sending one text out or one email at night is working hard. They don't really want to pay the price, and that's okay. But they have to understand their place in life. You can't expect to really get ahead without paying that price. Anyone who works hard and is really a success has to pay that price. But the truth is, it's not a price, because if you love what you're doing, it's not work. It's fun.
I agree with that.
Yeah. Todd, one thing I would chime in, Jack just mentioned you're in sales. Selling is unbelievable. We've been talking about young people, college, and the like. I would tell you that, to me, it is a crime that a person can go to a 4-year college or a 2-year college or grad school, however many number of years, and you're not required to take classes on selling and persuasion. I'm firmly of the belief that all of life is a sale. The extent to which you need to persuade people, convince them of your ideas, and move them along. And to bring things full circle, selling isn't bad. I believe if you have a solution.
I need to interrupt you for 1 second. Stay with me. We got a hard commercial break. We're going to come back. We're going to talk about persuasion right after this. Stay with us. I apologize. I know I was rude.
Don't turn that dial. We'll be right back.
Did you invest in a non-liquid real estate partnership? Do you want and need liquidity? There's finally an answer. Quick Liquidity is a direct buyer of real estate minority interest and tenants in common investments across the country. To find out if we would buy your non-liquid investment, call us at 561-221-0881 or visit us at quickliquidity.com. That's quickliquidity.com.
Are you tired of dealing with invasive and unreliable banks or brokers who charge large amounts of upfront fees and never deliver on their promises? Gelt Financial Corporation, in business since 1989, offers a stated income mortgage loan for non-owner occupied residential and commercial real estate investors for purchases, refinances, and yes, cash out refinances. Call Gelt Financial at 561-221-0900. That's 561-221-0900. Our stated income loan program does not require tax returns. Due to the light documentation, we can offer quick closings and approvals usually within 1 day. This program is a 30-year term with no balloon payment with loans amounts from $100,000 all the way up to $5 million. Call Gelt at 561-221-0900 or visit us at geltfinancial.com.
Does your company need financing to help with cash flow? Gelt Financial Corporation has been in business since 1989, knows the financing that businesses need to succeed in today's competitive environment. Gelt offers a wide array of programs such as accounts receivable, factoring, asset-based lines of credit, commercial real estate purchase and refinance financing, and bridge loans. Call us right now at 561-221-0900 to learn if you qualify. Gelt Financial understands that every business is in a unique situation which requires a unique solution. We pride ourselves in thinking outside the box to secure even the most difficult financing. Call us right now at 561-221-0900 or visit us at geltfinancial.com. That's geltfinancial.com.
Hi, this is Jim Freed. Join me for Freed on Business every Thursday here on 880 AM The Biz. Our show is where South Florida's business community comes together to exchange ideas on health and wellness, business tips, the news of the day, and things you can use to help improve your business's profitability on a daily basis. Join me as we move the show to 6 to 7 on Thursdays here on 880 AM The Biz for Freed on Business, brought to you by UHealth and Warren Henry Automotive. Take good care.
Welcome back to It's Down to Business with Jack Miller.
Hey, everyone. Thanks for staying tuned and thanks for joining in. I appreciate it. I'm glad to be here with you with Reb Shlomo Bregman and the number one realtor in all of South Florida, Mr. Todd Cohen, who's always looked very dapper and handsome today. I'm not going to describe what you look like, Todd. It'll be a little freaky. Yeah. But trust me, he looks good. You know what? I feel like we've been a little bit down. We've been talking about people's laziness and all people's craziness and things like that. But the truth is, we only have 5-10 minutes left. I want to end it on positive, upbeat things, because I think there's so much potential in the world today. You know, a kid who's 19 or 21 could really change the world, and they've done it with the invention of Twitter and Uber and all of these crazy things. And there's a lot of opportunity out there to seize and to get, and I think someone motivated can take advantage of that. So let's talk about that for a few minutes. You know, I see with, again, my son's friends, I have 3 boys, so I don't have any girls, but their friends, they're so full of hope and opportunity, and they've created businesses from nothing, from their garages and bedrooms and all the websites. No longer do you need $500,000 or $250,000 to open a business. You need just a template or whatever it is to start a website, and they're doing it, and they're making it big time.
I agree. This is Todd, Commercial Corner, and I agree wholeheartedly. There's a lot of reason to be optimistic out there. You know, in what I do, obviously, down here in South Florida and in the country in general, the real estate market is on fire, and there are pockets of optimism in all corners, really. The stock market has been doing great. There's been a recovery in jobs. There's been a recovery in a lot of areas in the country since the lows of 2008, 2009. And that's a great thing. I think that when you get people who have attained any level of success, whether they did it on their own merits or whether they were born into it, frankly, in our country, I think people feel guilt when they look around and see less fortunate people or anything negative, really, that goes on, whether it's what happened in Baltimore recently or, you know, anything at all, the flooding in Houston. And I think we feel guilt when we're not affected, but we have fortunate lives.
That's our genealogy. Our Jewish parents gave us guilt. I say, screw guilt, man. You got to be successful. And you know what? when you're loaded and you've made it, then you could be generous. But in the beginning, you got to be selfish and you got to be about number one. Michael Jordan, actually, I forget the quote, but has a great quote on that, is when you're starting out, you got to be all about yourself and building it up. Once you're successful, then you could give it away, then you could be generous, but you got to focus on that success. And I would say throw guilt out the window, man. I don't know about what you guys think, but that's my thought on it.
That always makes me smile. One piece that I would add to the pie is that, there is an incredible amount of opportunity that's available, but a person has to be hungry for it. People want to do business with people that are hungry. A lot of people like to play it cool, act like they're not interested, how to really eat your business, I don't need your deal. I don't understand where that comes from. There's nothing wrong with acting hungry. There's nothing wrong with wanting business. There's nothing wrong with it. We also live in a world, I've seen, where sometimes people resent successful people. I would say, if you see somebody that, you don't hate them, figure out how they did it, and then go do it too. If you find somebody who's successful, don't look down on them or be jealous. Just, try to figure out how they did it also. You'd be amazed how many ultra-famous, powerful, successful people are really genuinely interested in sharing with you their wisdom and how they did it. But you can't be a little baby, and you can't be afraid to pick up the phone or reach out. But if you'll have the guts to get out of your comfort zone and reach out, you'd be amazed at the kind of people that are accessible to you and would love to coach you to get to where you want to.
I think you're right. People are receptive. I think we're having a little communication problems. I'm getting a couple texts from my wife, who's really my producer, my boss. But I think people are very receptive to reach out, especially in the social media world. I know I've reached out to people on Twitter and LinkedIn who would normally not talk to me, and today it's easy through social media to reach out and give them a quick snapshot or a quick shout out. And people will hear back. And especially successful people, I think they want to help other people once they get to a certain level. And people shouldn't be scared to reaching out to them.
Right. And another thing I highly recommend in life, and in any level of life, is to really have a mentor. Have a mentor who you look up to and who could share ideas with you, and someone who you respect in the business world or whatever world that you want to be in and aspire to be in.
Todd, my world is so screwed up. Don't ask me what world I want to be in.
I mean,
I'm teasing.
I don't know what to do with that, but I can tell you that having a mentor, I have one, that I was given when I joined my company, Marcus and Millichap, Drew Crystal, who's been a tremendous mentor. I also have my regional manager, Kurt Felici, who has been a phenomenal mentor. And then I have a mentor outside of the office, just sort of like a life coach who, I don't pay them to be that, but that's really what they are for me. And, it's been a tremendous help for me to really see the forest for the trees, as they say, to get a big picture, go up on a hot air balloon and go 10,000 feet up and see, what should I really be looking for? What's the next step? And get that kind of perspective. I recommend that.
You're right. We all need our help. Reb Bregman, could you give your website? We have to wrap it up in the next minute. Give your YouTube, your website, whatever contact information, because I think people, just like every day, should get a 5-minute shot of you.
Thank you. Well, I feel the same about you, Jack. Thank you.
People don't want to shot him. People are running away from me.
Okay, well, I'm not one of them. I'm running close to it. It's more opportunity for me. So, my name is Shlomo, Shlomo, Bregman, Bregman.
Yeah, people can't. Rab Bregman, for whatever reason, we're having some technical difficulties, so people aren't hearing you. But I'll give you your information if that's okay. His name is Rab Shlomo Bregman. You can look him up on YouTube. His also email address is Bregman Success, Bregman Success, SUCCESS.com. And look him up, send him an email. He will respond, I promise, because that's how I got in touch with him. Todd, you want to give out your information?
Sure.
Everyone knows you already. You're famous.
Todd Cohen. My phone number is 786-385-9478. And Thank you very much, Jack, as always.
And this is Jack Miller from, I forget the name of the show, but anyway, it's Jack Miller, Down to Business. I'm just teasing you. Wanda, thank you very much. My lovely wife, Judy, thank you. Everyone world, I love you. Have a great day, everyone.
We hope you enjoyed the show. Don't forget to tune in next Thursday at 3 o'clock on 880 The Biz. If you want to send in your questions, comments, or ideas for shows during the week, please email Jack